on YouTube. This is Squids. We are going to me and I still haven't decided because I re-listened last time. Are you etchy guy? Are you etchy man? Are you both? Are you a mixed entity? Either way.
I think all of that plus the itchy guy, because sometimes my skin gets dry.
So yes, there you have, folks. Even the itchy guy. We're gonna recover. Oh my goodness, we're gonna cover episode 3 of Chain Soldier, which hopefully this time's not as much of a mess as last week's was. Uh, this time, Alex
Yeah, I'm hoping that.
went and reread the chapters and took notes, and he went above and beyond the model that we had and decided I'm gonna be the guy this time.
Yeah, I going back and listening. I really wasn't happy with my performance and all that other stuff. A lot of stuff was forgotten. Granted, it was a 2 week period where we watched both those episodes. But dude, we were forgetting things from an episode we watched like 2 hours prior to, and then I didn't have enough. Like, I'm the guy who read the manga. I didn't have enough back knowledge to pull and like compare and contrast. So felt like I could do better.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Were you impressed more or less with this week's episode than you were the last two?
Yeah, I would like to say so because I don't know if you noticed this because we'll get into like the nitty gritty later, but I thought the CGI was done a lot better. I think it's been progressively getting a little bit better. Like they're kind of settling into their color and what they want to do with it, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I could see that too, and I think maybe they're finally getting like I said, getting a hang more or less of the animation style because I mean, like we kind of went through last week what Seven Arcs has done, and I don't think they've really tackled the series that maintains this much I guess action scenes. It looked like they mostly did like,
Yeah.
you know, magic girl lovey dovey shit. So I mean this is a definitely change from
Yeah.
the usual pace. So I mean I can't blame them honestly. But
But
I was
yeah,
mildly
I've
more
noticed that I've
impressed.
really Yeah, no, it's definitely it's been worth riding through the first kind of like I'd say mid-tier episode, the second episode where you kind of see the growth, and this third episode is really starting to come into its own.
Yeah, definitely. And like it seemed almost like it went way too fast this week, one of those weeks where the 20 minutes, obviously minus the beginning and ending went like so fast. Like it was actually a nice breath of fresh air. I mean, I personally
Yeah,
think
it
that
was.
this season has a lot of shows worth watching, but this so far has been keeping me on the loops, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it, mentioned it last week, but that opening theme, dude, I can't get enough of it. It's kind of just a bop, you know what I mean? It slaps.
Yeah, Yume no
Yeah, I'm
Ito.
digging it. I'm digging
Yeah,
it so far.
it's
Yep.
pretty good. It's a pretty good song. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think I've actually listened to the whole thing. I think I've been skipping the intro, but it's such a force of habit.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Another thing I wanted to mention about like the uptick in quality too, it feels like almost the voice actors are starting to get more of a feel for the characters now too, because I felt a lot more emotion and less canned dialogue going on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, but at the same time, also as well, I mean, the literal characters are getting to know each other better as well. So you've also
That's
have that
true.
that to play with, and I mean, I don't think they necessarily. I don't even know how long they've been together. It can't be that long. Like maybe a week, maybe a little longer.
So so yeah, I'm not sure too because there is some stuff that's skipped in the anime, of course, because that's always how it goes. Like there's a whole nother huge battle sequence that takes place, I think, between episode 1 and 2, that we don't get to see. And there's a few more patrols that are talked about and whatnot. So, like, when we see Yuki go on his first patrol in the anime, that's like his second or third patrol.
Wow. Okay. So they're definitely cutting more or less to the more important scenes, is what you're trying to tell me. The more practical to the
Yeah,
moving the
and
plot along.
which kind of sucks because some scenes they're skipping are actually pretty good. Like you get to see fucking what's her name again? Hold on, I'm terrible with names, guys. I'm sorry. You get to see Uzin just completely not full frontal nude, but she's straight stripped down to her bra and panties in one of those rewards that we get to, thankfully, not really thankfully, but miss.
That's a shame.
So yeah, and
I think
I mean,
I,
good
I
character design. It is a shame. She got good design.
I think you sent me the manga page for that actually. The
Yeah,
the panel itself.
yeah. I'm trying to suck you into it.
I'll read
Yeah,
it
again, I'll say it.
once
I'll
once
say it.
this season's
I'll say it
over.
one more time. Watch it. I'll say it one more time to everyone who's kind of sticking along and hasn't read the manga and is kind of watching this right now. Read the manga. The manga is phenomenal. But that's just that.
All right, so I
Oh,
guess you want to get started into the episode now that we've discussed it for a while.
yeah, I think it's a good time too. I mean, we got some interesting things going on. Some of the stuff I'll have to explain with a little more knowing what goes on in the manga, but
Okay, okay.
why don't you get started and set the scene for us, Mr. Squids?
So we walk out of what looks like a nice portal from Time Splitters 2. Eh, way
Fair
back
enough.
way back in the day. And
So they're walking out of Stargate.
or yeah, I mean it could be Stargate too. I mean, it's all about perspective, baby. I mean, I was like, that's a nice purple portal. You know, I
That's pretty much what I was like too. Like,
but it's Yuki and Kyoka, and they're walking out of it, and pretty much it sounds like they're, quote unquote, on a break for the time being, which obviously we come to find out here relatively shortly after isn't exactly a break. If anything, it's more like a to B, and then maybe a C, but then back to B right off the bat.
yeah, yeah. It's like she's got business at headquarters and he gets to tag along, type of thing.
The dog on the roof.
And and I think a lot of the reason why he gets to tag along specifically is because it's kind of referenced that this is an important day because it'll flash back when Shushi's actually running around looking for Yuki because she's a little fucking horn dog. But she's looking for Yuki, and they talk about what day it is and how he's out there. But you come to find out that part of their visit out there, they go to visit like a memorial, and you kind of start to build into a deeper backstory for these two characters
Yeah,
within
yeah.
this scene. So
I didn't exactly see what date it was on the cell phone. I didn't pay that
it
much
was like, I
attention,
think it was
but
like June 11th or something like that. It is a J month.
okay, okay. So there's a few of those, but
But
not important.
if
Not important.
if I were to guess, this is actually probably referencing the anniversary of the incident that pretty much wiped out Uzin's whole village.
That's a good guess.
And
Yeah.
we get to
So
see Unicorn again. Unihorn.
horn, baby. Yeah. So they get leaving to go on this adventure, and like you mentioned earlier, obviously Shushu's like wondering where Yuki's at, and we find out, obviously she knows most likely where he's at with Kyoka. And so they're heading to the cemetery, I guess, like you mentioned, to go pay respects to her family and all the people. I guess not necessarily all the people, but it's definitely, it almost feels like a memoriam, even though it's probably her family grave. You know,
And
the The way she's
And
describing it.
I think it's I think it's also less to pay respects, but more to motivate Yuki and get him sort of on the same mindset and page that she's on, where she wants to go or she wants to head. Because she really talks about, what happened. They reference that a large portal opened up and a lot of Shuki came out. And interesting enough, in the manga, they reference ogres,
Oh,
which
they have
I
layers.
kind of understand as maybe a classification for a different type of Shuki, like maybe some of the larger ones. I'm not sure. I can't remember if that's ever referenced in future chapters or anything like that. But they referenced them as ogres in the manga. They come out. The whole village is wiped out. They're led by this big one unihorde. They managed to take out all of the Shuki except for Unihorde. And
Fucking
Uzin
unicorn.
only finds that out through and Uzin only finds that out through digging through files that I'm pretty sure she's not supposed to be digging through. Because that's
Oh,
actually
most
part of
likely.
her, why she wants to become Supreme Commander, so she has files and stuff like that.
So she doesn't have
Um,
to dig around and be a sneaky little bitch.
yeah. And then another little interesting difference actually between the manga and the anime is in this whole scene. So Uzin's outfit is different in the anime versus the manga. I noticed that today when I reread the chapter, but she's wearing like a flowery blouse almost in the manga, and in the anime she's wearing like a pink turtleneck, and I can understand why the animators would go for the solid pink turtleneck over like a intricate flowery blouse. Can't fucking talk, but
You gotta save all
cost
that
a lot less to
animation time.
animate. Yeah, but no, her outfit in the manga is actually pretty fucking cute. I mean, her outfit in the anime is good too, but like, I really wish they would have kept that actually.
I enjoyed it.
So,
I
go back look at it.
I like the colors and you know the,
She looked fucking, and she looked real fucking like cute and shit. Like, I'm not gonna give it wrong, but like
which
in the manga, mwah,
which I
chef's
guess
kiss.
before they even go out to walk to the cemetery, I guess Yuki even kind of mentally, talks about how he thinks that she looks pretty stellar.
Kinda checks her out too. It almost runs into something.
It happens,
It
sometimes
does.
you you just gotta watch what's in front of you, but it's impossible.
Yeah, but yeah. So she's kind of more or less sharing his goals and why her goals with him, and why she's doing what she's doing.
Right, and then like
And
at the
then
same, I was gonna say he retorts with the fact that his sister went, I guess dead because he doesn't exactly know that she's missing,
uh,
but she quote unquote died in this in from an attack from one of the Shuki as well. So they have something in common.
yay, and yeah, we've finally run into what I am starting to realize is anime girl kryptonite, at least according to all animes.
What's that?
What is that kryptonite? What is that kryptonite? It's a fucking parfait.
What? No, no, no. She loves the fuck out of that parfait.
Yeah, but there's an interesting thing which, like, the anime drops a ball on the context here, because Yuki, they go to this cafe because they got to get back because it's a point A, point B thing. Yuki kind of does his research, brings her out to the cafe so they can get, a parfait. And there's a line in there that says, "Don't you love sweets?" In the manga, there's actually a whole train ride in between that section where um, Uzin kind of falls asleep for a bit. Yuki's kind of looking at her, talking about in his head how cute she is and stuff like that. And she wakes back up, reaches in her bag, and is like, "I got a bunch of candy here." So, like, contextually, we have no idea why Yuki knows that she loves sweets unless you fucking go and delve into the manga. But yeah, it's just a weird moment. It's weird. It's a little jarring when you've read it versus watching it.
It's because all women like sweets.
That's what it seems like in the manga. Well, the anime, but the manga actually put some context behind it, okay?
I mean, maybe I'm still stuck on the cafe terrace and its goddess. That was such a such a delightful series. But
I'll have to put it on my list of things to watch. I've got a long
yeah,
list of things to watch.
because season 2 is planned to air this year, so
I got to get season 1 pounded down so I can watch season 2 as it comes out.
you'll love
It's the
it. You'll
plan
love it.
now.
Yes. So after this delicious parfait, before they finish, she gets a fucking conch shell, blowing
The
blow,
magic conch shell.
blowing one horn, which means it's not an emergency, but they need to hurry the hell back, apparently. So
Yep.
she makes him suck her finger, and they're running down the strip. And while they're running down the strip, there's this little girl in the back of a Toyota Corolla. It's definitely not, but I'm just assuming it's a Toyota Corolla. And she's just
Yep.
sitting there looking until they start zipping by, and she looks like she's like seeing the greatest thing in the whole freaking world as they are running by.
Exactly. That moment was pretty fucking good. Like, I'm gonna admit that.
Like, was that a scene at all in the manga, the panels, or is that just an added
Oh
little?
yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was in the panels. Yeah, so most of what appears in the anime, minus a few changes to like some dialogue, or I'll talk about a major change that I thought was a little goofy later on. But for the most part, everything that's in the anime is in the manga.
Okay, okay. Sometimes you never
We're
know
just
because
missing some sections.
sometimes like studios will take the liberty of doing a slight, alteration with original content that actually makes it more fit together. So I was just
Yeah,
curious, you know. So
yeah.
they
It
they
seems like mostly they did a streamlining of the story on this one.
yeah, they just compressed it. They fracked it.
Yeah, sadly, less anime titties.
Well, you gotta be able to make it so it's airable.
Dude, I would watch a whole show where it's just the cuts of the anime titties the whole time, but that's just me, guys.
Just
I
watch
am the
Mag-
itchy guy.
just watch Magical Girls, okay?
I am, okay? I am.
It's a whole delight on its own. So we've
It
done
really
that.
is.
We we get back to the beautiful foundation, and I'm
Oh,
trying to think if it's
me?
Himari or Shushu, yeah, Ne, whatever. Yeah, she's pointing out that there's like a whole crater of them in
Dude, you
this.
missed a big section of what's going on, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Or does that happen afterwards?
Well, no, I can't remember if he gets his reward before or after. It's one of the two. That's
Okay,
why I
well,
was.
we'll start with the crater. And I want to say this about the crater. This is the first time we start to see Nay's powers. Like, that's pretty cool. She's kind of like the clairvoyant member of the group that kind of like brings them in information and all that stuff.
The GPS. The
Yeah, she's the little sister GPS.
She's the Google Maps. The Google Maps of the group. So yeah, like I said, I couldn't remember which flip flopped it was either way, but he gets his reward for. I guess we can mention that before we keep going because I know you want to talk about it,
Yeah,
and it probably was
well,
right before this. So
and honestly, I'm not sure. It might have been flip flopped in the manga and the anime, so I might be just all sorts of all over the place from covering them both tonight.
right, because for some reason I just see I need to take more screen caps, but in my mind they got back, discussed that, then it rolls the reward. But it could be the other way around. Either or, I can let you take away the reward for this one because I know you're probably just itching to talk about it.
Well, yeah, the rewards are like part of the big draw to this series. So anyway, Kyoka takes Yuki off to another room because she's got to get changed before she goes out on the mission. Because she's in her plain clothes. She's got to get in her sexy dominatrix commander mind fearer outfit, I guess. But so Yuki's like, "Oh yeah, I'll go with you. Whatever. What's going on?" And then fucking she sits down and she's like, undress me. I think in the anime, it's take it off. It holds her leg up, and he starts pulling off her stocking. He's thinking to himself, well, this is right here. Fucking, nice panty shot, all that other stuff. He ends up pulling the stocking off, and she kind of holds, in the anime, she holds her foot out, and this does happen in the manga too, and almost implies like it's a foot fetish thing, like, oh, you like my feet, don't you? But when reading the manga, you actually get a little more context to that scene where during that moment where she's holding her foot out, he's actually pulling off her other stocking, staring at her panties. And so there might be a little bit of foot fetishism in this anime. I'm not going to say there's not, but this scene was more heavily implied to be a foot fetish thing in the anime than it was in the manga. Of course, he gets called a pervert.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess maybe they just kind of rearranged it because I know after the first go around, and after she steps on his face and like comes back again to like squeeze his dick. I know
we haven't even gotten to that part yet. That's like way later in the episode. We're jumping way out of order.
God,
he's got 2 rewards in this episode.
I know, and they both are so exciting. I can't forget.
We'll talk about that later. We're gonna put a little dog ear, little tab on that, and we'll come back to it. But anyway, there's a large crater of Shukis, and they're all excited because they get to kick some Shuki ass, and they're like, "Whoa, this has never happened in Mato before." So then we get to see our first shot of the tactical dirt bike.
Is that what we
which is
call
not
it?
in the manga at all. It's the tactical dirt bike. So they take their what did we call the truck last time?
Yeah,
Was it like the military grade 2002 Ford Escort or something like that?
It was.
So they take their military grade 2002 Ford Escort. Uzin hops on Yuki because they're taking 3 vehicles, and then she gets to ride alone on her tactical dirt bike. It's very tactical.
Yeah, and the irony is she says we're taking 3 vehicles, but apparently Yuki is a vehicle himself.
Yep, and he even points it out. He's like, "So I'm a vehicle now?"
Yeah, he gets ridden on. I mean, he might as well be, a all-terrain vehicle.
But like fucking, what I love about this scene, dude, is when fucking Yuki and Uzin just go fucking flying way ahead, and you kind of get that moment where like, whoa, they're fast.
He's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, he's got them Sonic fucking shoes on, those red shoe power-ups.
Either that or he's wearing some nice New Balance shoes, the white ones.
Like the dad shoes.
The dad shoes. Yeah, he's wearing the dad shoes. He's getting ready to cut some grass.
Oh, that's what he's doing. Going to play some golf afterwards with his buddies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why he's in such a hurry to get to the scene.
Yeah, so anyway, since they're so much faster, they arrive at the scene first, but Uzin kind of makes Yuki wait because Yuki's sitting there and, they're saying, like, if anyone were to sort of get teleported to this area because of a Mato incident in the real world, they'd be in real trouble. But Uzin has them waiting, is like, we're going to take them out as a team, take them all out at once because we have strategy and they fight like animals.
Yeah, and she even like admits that, that they're like the same type of creature, but like at the same, like you said, they're tough as shit though. But they're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of negate. It's like a backhanded compliment more than anything.
Yeah, girl Shushu, she get big.
Yeah, she got big. She got big pretty quick there.
And I think this is where you really start to notice that the CG is getting a little better.
You think so?
Because I felt like a lot of the Shuki felt like they blended it in more with the animation, the hand-drawn shit, or whatever they decide to use. It blended in with the rest of the animation a lot better.
I was gonna say I think the color scheme definitely helped a lot with that aspect in this episode.
Yeah, and I think we can draw a little attention to like how they decided to go after lighting in this situation because the Shuki were a lot more mass this time. You don't get really a lot of zoom ins on them and stuff, but that first punch, dude, that was a good punch. When
Yeah,
fucking
no,
Shushu just nails the ground right in the
yeah,
middle of them.
yeah, and they're kind of just all going to town at this point until your Unicorn shows up, and
And
like I was gonna say,
uh,
isn't right the moment when he shows up, doesn't Shushu get shot like with this big purple blast of whatever the fuck the purple shit was?
it's Oba's mouth lasers. Let's get it right. So we get to. I don't think we ever used her name in the last episode, but anyway, Aoba, the humanoid Shiki, right? Fucking fires a mouth laser straight into Shushu and fucking just knocks her down. And I'm gonna admit, I fucking love the designs of the humanoid Shiki. I think they are just phenomenal.
They kind of remind
I think
me
it's a good.
of the
Go ahead.
demon. They kind of remind. She kind of reminds me of the Spence. You like to bring this series up all the time of the demons from the Dragon Ball um, Xenoverse realm.
I could see that. I could see that. I was kind of thinking that they looked like some sort of weird Digimon because you got like the fetish Digimon, like Angel Woman and shit.
The fetish Digimon.
Well, that's what they are. It's a kid show that they just threw in these fucking grown ass women with take old bitties, half exposed, for the parents to see. It's the fetish Digimon.
I mean, to be fair,
I mean, we
it's
can talk
technically
about.
a teenager show, but we
I'm
don't.
honestly, I would say like 10 to 11.
But you probably watched the 4 Kids dubs.
And I did watch it at like when it was first airing. So
So there's that.
yeah, there is that. And I was probably like 10 or 11 at the time, maybe even younger.
But have you watched the newer ones?
I stopped at the one, I think it's like the third series where the red Digimon is like the main Digimon and they got the cards.
Oh, okay.
Renamon,
Okay.
Renamon, the other fetish Digimon.
Oh my god. The other fetish
Dude,
guy,
that like no, and I'll admit it. I've been on the internet long enough to know what people do with that particular Digimon.
Vaporeon. Anyway, so so yeah, Oba comes on Unihorn, and she's coming to attack like full force right off the bat, and obviously, Kyoka sees and acknowledges that coincidentally, we were just talking about him a few hours ago in the human world, and here he is. Like it's just like she can hear him or something.
It's fucking fate.
It's fate
And
grand
honestly,
order.
I'm gonna touch a little bit too on like differences between the manga and the anime here. So the opening gambit for Unihorn and Oba is not a laser blast actually in the anime. Not the anime, but the manga itself, because she goes full bore and charges right in and actually like fucking Unihorn and her knock Shushu on their ass like with straight melee, which I thought was a little bit cooler. But I like the blast too. You do get to see the blast a little bit later in that scene where we see uh Azuma trying to not Azuma yeah Azuma trying to defend against her blasting again and just getting her shield arm just wrecked. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, she got wrecked real quick. There was no hope in that fight.
But this whole battle scene between Aoba and Kyoka it's actually pretty fucking good, I thought. Like that moment where she first tries to like separate the two of them,
Yeah.
and you see Uzin just literally swing on Yuki's chain around his fucking neck, like in some weird sort of way, and then like fling herself at Aoba and Unihorn. That was
Yeah,
pretty dope.
I like
Like,
on the
I'm
back.
not
I
gonna
like
lie.
how in the background Yuki is just like looks almost like a child choke victim as she's swinging the chain around.
Yeah.
He's just he's
Um,
just sitting there and the change just fucking spinning around.
it is pretty fucking good. But no, this is like honestly, I'd put this as like probably the best battle sequence we've seen so far in this anime. Like we haven't seen a lot of them. Granted, we're like 3 episodes in,
But
but this has definitely been the best one so far. Again, I love the design of uh, Oba. I'm pointed on the design of Unihorn because they took a lot of liberties
oh,
compared to the manga. Like the manga, he looks a lot less armored and more like a creature. Whereas
yeah,
I thought he looked very armored in the anime. Still a fucking phenomenal design. This is kind of where I would say you see the improvements in the CG over time with this series because he barely looks CG'd, but you can tell he is still.
right. I mean, especially. I mean, I think some maybe cell shaded, but yeah, especially the movements. Movements are an animator's best friend
They're
when it
not so.
comes to CG.
Yeah, it's definitely not as jarring as it was in that first episode.
No, God, no. And like, while this fight's going on, there's like a few things going on. So obviously, Shushu and Himari are pretty much they're out for the count in this fight, and
He KO'd.
yeah, they just KO'd, and freaking Kyoka is kind of just going ham in this fight, and while they're kind of doing that whole thing, he's obviously trying to attack Unihorn, and if I remember correctly, before Yuki and Oba have like a face to face for like 2 seconds, Kyoka actually gets a cut on Oba, or is that after
Yeah,
the?
right on her arm.
Yeah, like right up.
I think that's before. And oh my god, dude, the sound of that cut that
Yeah,
made me hurt.
it was the
Like
cut of her thousands of ancestors coming down and smiting her.
there was like a fucking crunch, dude. It was ridiculous.
Well, she does kind of look like a cockroach, so I mean, maybe it was her skin, her scaled armor skin.
God, dude, I've never wanted to fuck a cockroach so bad.
Well, I mean, at least we're figuring things out today. We're learning more about you. Um,
Yeah.
this man would fuck a sexy cockroach. What do you got going on in your life? So,
Probably not saying I'd fuck a sexy cockroach. That's for fucking sure.
well, now we know. Now we know.
And
And
knowing is half the battle.
that's right. So after that, yeah, Yuki and Oba kind of like look face to face to each other while she's like partially
Well,
giving the speech the whole
so
time about how she's yes.
yeah, you're about to cover the looking for her brother thing going on right now,
Yeah, whereas yeah, this
right?
whole time she's like
Okay.
trying to like proclamate how she's looking for her brother and he's like really handsome. And before she can even like say his name is if I remember correctly the part where she actually gets cut before she can say his name. And then the confrontation happens. And like it's not like a
Yep.
conversation. It's just the fact that she like somehow miraculously looked at his transformed face and just got the vibe that that was her brother.
But then, like before that too, like she's trying to have this conversation talking about her brother, and in the background, all the Shuki have sort of kind of amassed and kind of interrupted with a large roar. And
Uh,
she has control over her hair, whatnot. So she uses her hair to fucking crush the Shuki real fast. But like the look that she makes instantly reminds Yuki of his sister. The look on her face. That's
yeah,
pretty important too.
even though the eyes are kind of like glowed out, which is kind of disturbing.
Yeah. And speaking of like this whole topic of her trying to like find her brother and stuff, they kind of got a weird relationship going on, bro. Like she's saying he's the handsomest man in the world. She loved, beating some sense into him, and then even in the manga, it says that Yuki always said that when he was little that he wanted to marry his sister.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
just like
some weird sibling shit going on.
it's just the usual sibling love.
Yeah, weird brother sister love.
It happens all the time.
I know I've started noticing it's happening all the time, but like at the same time, I just sort of ignore it because it's a different culture. It's a different culture, guys.
If just go along with it. Don't let it bother
Just,
you.
I mean, they may call each other cousins, but I think that word has a slightly different meaning out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, because what back this is a little bit of a tangent, but back when I read, watched Elf and Lead for the first time, they're referenced as cousins the whole time.
That's because they are.
But there's like some sort of but there's also some sort of like weird eroticism going on between them two.
It's
But
because there
then I went
was.
and I kind of looked up. I know there was, but I went and looked further into it, and I guess out in Japan, a cousin can also be a very, very, very close family friend around like the age of the child. So
Yeah, but I
there
mean, if
is
I
some
remember
difference in there
correctly,
too, but I'm pretty sure they were just cousins.
I was just gonna say they're pretty much they are just cousins in Elf and Lead.
See, this was before when I tried to justify these things, okay? I don't even try to justify it now.
No need for justification here.
It's just drawn people, drawn titties and stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, so they sort of recognize each other, fucking I can't remember. I think we actually got ahead of ourselves cuz I think the cut happens and that's how Yuki gets broken free from the hair trap.
The hair trap. Yeah.
But anyway, Uzin's going fucking mental. And uh Oba realizes that she's injured and she goes to go run off and stuff like that. And Uzin's like, getting ready to fucking chase him down and shit. And she's like, Yuki, get over here. And realizes that he's going and fighting off everyone, all the Shuki, in order to save the other two squad mates. And she kind of has this moment of realization where she's like, I've let my revenge kind of get in front of my duties as being a commander. So a little difference again between the anime and the manga, and I like the way the manga did this a little bit better. So in the anime, you see her throw her hat on the ground when she realizes what she did, how her thought process goes, and all that stuff. In the manga, dude, she full on just fucking decks herself in the face.
What?
It's actually a pretty great panel. So I wish they would have kept that in there because I always like to watch people punch themselves in the face, to get a grip on things. Because I think it's a pretty decent sized anime trope at this point of people being like, "Well, I'm being an idiot," and punch themselves in the face.
Yeah,
But
she just wanted to be an Asuka. That's all she wanted to be.
yeah, but
She,
so they kind of clean up the Shuki and grab the girls and go back to headquarters.
yeah, once she gets over her, they're Asuka and Shinji. That's what they are, right? That's their
just
relate.
just just with a more explicit relationship.
I don't know, man. He does jack off over her sleeping body in a coma.
Yeah, but that's you got to watch the movie for that. I'm pretty sure that's in the movie, isn't it?
They're there now. So they,
I have to like explain to all my friends who fucking don't watch Evangelion, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't really like it." And I was like, "But have you watched the movie? Because like the anime is pretty like I'm not gonna say it's mid, but it doesn't make sense unless you watch the ending of it."
yeah, you got to watch the alternative, or else it won't make any sense.
Exactly. And
So
space vaginas, dude. Who doesn't love space vaginas?
everybody loves a good old space vagina. So they get they get back, right? And right off the bat, this is lead me in the right direction here. Does he? If I
All right.
can't remember, does he get his reward relatively quick?
So I think if I remember correctly, that they kind of cover the fact that the girls' injuries aren't that bad.
Yep, yep.
I think that's the first part of it. And then he gets led off into the other room for his reward. And since I took the first reward, you can take this one, bud.
Oh no, but god damn it, why?
Do you want me to take it? I can take it.
Just take it. Just take it.
We get the good old fashioned nut stepping. Like she's got his fucking ankles in her hands and is just fucking grinding her heel and toes into his fucking scrot and cock. Like it's fucking ridiculous. And she calls him a pervert, and he's sitting there like, well, this is some reward, and she's like, well, you're the one who's wanted it. And he's like, I think in the manga he even touches on the fact that like he's even starting to scare himself with these rewards. Like he's like, I subconsciously wanted this. I'm getting a little scared.
And like she's really putting it to his nuts. Like,
oh yeah, fucking. And then he kind of pisses her off, and she just starts fucking stomping on his nuts.
Yeah, yeah, she starts really stomping, like really stomping for a good minute there, and he's still not having a bad time.
And I think she starts stomping on his nuts after he comments on, oh well, this isn't so bad. It's a nice view, because it's just a panty shot at that point.
He gets the beautiful, all glorious pig panty shot.
Then she fucking also like at one point takes her boot off, because okay, context, she's still stomping on his dick with her fucking boots on.
Yeah,
grinded her boots into his cock. Like that's how it is. And then she goes and takes her boots off, starts rubbing her foot on his face, and goes in for seconds with just a bare foot. It like I think it was a little more raunchy in the manga than it was in the anime, because like there is like straight fucking like bulge being rubbed up and down with the fucking toes and stuff like that in the manga.
Yeah, there was only a little bulge with the foot action, but you can tell she was getting in there with her feet for sure.
And I mean, part of me sees how that could be pleasurable, but part of me is also like, who really wants to have their nuts stepped on? Like,
anyway,
fair enough. I can tell by that sound we got a little secret going on the other side of this call.
Who? Where?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
I think we're to the bath scene now. Now, since
was it the bath before the cooking?
Is cooking and then bath.
Yeah.
Okay, the cooking. This is where you really get to see the fact that she's kind of like a little big sister. Like she acts like a big sister, but he treats her like a little sister.
And you could tell the fact that Yuki's kind of a Sato, because he's cooking dinner for them because that's his job, and he kind of like spaces off thinking about how maybe the fact that Oba might be his sister, and and then of course Nei comes in and she's like, "Whoa, my guy, you're letting that shit bubble over," because he forgot to put the wooden spatula over top of the pan like a fool.
Fucking fool. Gotta break the surface tension.
You gotta break the surface tension. And so he stops it, obviously admits he was daydreaming, and then she, in his head, he's like thinking that she's gonna like beat him when she comes up to him and call him a failure. But she ends up offering to actually make dinner instead because he had a long
Doesn't she rock him one in the face real quick though for like
well, from what I
team be in danger, like because
I didn't
maybe
think
that's only in the manga.
I was gonna say because I know like it felt like he had like an illusion that she was gonna rock him in the face, but then it felt like she didn't, and then she offered to make dinner is what it looked like to me. Like I couldn't tell if that was real or not, but it looked like a dream sequence.
I could be mistaken on the real versus dream sequence type of thing. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, she comforts him, offers to make dinner, and of course, him being the guy that, loves making dinner, is like, no, I'll take care of it. I like cooking.
He likes food, girls, and vagina.
But Yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons why I really like Nay too, because she's just kind of like sweet and supportive towards him, like really treats. So age wise, I think she's like 11 and he's probably like, I'm guessing like 15, 16, something like that.
I felt like he was 16, 17.
Could be 16, 17. But she really treats him like the younger brother because she was in the Demon Defense Force a lot earlier than he was. But at the same time, she is his senpai, but he's also older than her, so it's kind of like this weird little kind of like, I'll take the advice you have, thanks, senpai, but also you're such a cute little kid.
He's the Kohai of her dreams.
And
And
then
now we get to
now we get bath.
the bath time, yeah. And so he's taking a bath, and just gets done pouring a bucket of water all over himself when Shushu decides to step on into the bathroom and offers to wash his back for him. And him trying to mentally break his way through the conversation is trying to decide if she's actually naked or not, or if she's wearing a bathing suit and this is all a setup.
Yeah, because she straight up tells him like, you better not turn around, I'm butt naked.
But he it's Shushu, so he has no idea if it's a joke or not because, well, we know her personality so far.
Yep.
And so he ends up deciding to turn around, and she was naked. He failed that one.
Get the best shot of the whole anime right there with Shushu's big old bitties.
Now let's not jump to saying that's the best one of the whole series yet.
No, we're gonna say the episode. I should have said episode. Should have said episode.
It's okay. We forgive you. And yeah, so
Sorry.
he runs in back in, and while before we get to that scene, Shushu has like this moment of the fact that she's getting her lust on, knowing that Yuki has now seen her fully naked. The
Yeah,
little
here's another little difference that I noticed too between the manga and the anime. The dialogue in this situation, she says that her heart's racing in the anime, but in the manga, she straight up just says that was kind of hot.
Doki Doki.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a different context between the two because like the anime is leading you to believe that like she kind of sort of likes him, has a thing for him, but the manga at that point is like, yeah, she's lustful and wants to hop on that meat stick.
She's just a experimental late teenager.
Well, she went to a girls' school, so she's never seen a man's ding dong until the last episode.
Well, that makes sense now. Everything's starting to come together. And
They're all starting to come together.
I feel like it's happening, yeah. So he walks back into the bathroom area, and Himari is stripping, and that's a pretty nice scene. But the problem with that is obviously Yuki has seen her pretty much almost naked now, and she didn't reciprocate that as well as Shushu did, and starts to chase him down the hallway with a chainsaw arm. Very reminiscent to Denji and Chainsaw Man.
Yes. Yes, it was fantastic. And then we kind of get to this so she's like about to literally fucking slice his shit. I think she's still like in a towel at this point, chasing him with a chainsaw arm, isn't she?
Yeah, they're both in a towel. Yeah, obviously
But
his is just covering his groin. Hers is covering like everything.
but yeah, so then we get a portal, and two people walk through that portal, and we get introduced to Sixth Squad, which I'm not gonna spoil anything. Both of the next coming chapters, we're gonna learn a bit more about them, and they're gonna take a very big role within the series in a couple, maybe like an episode or two here.
Which I'm really glad about
But
because because those two are definitely the hottest girls of the group.
Yeah, and eh, I could drop a little bit of a spoiler because I think we already kind of all sort of anyone who's watching this kind of noticed it. Did you notice it?
Notice what? How she's
Did
how Tenka was all up on him?
well, that's something to notice. But did you notice the other thing?
What was well, just spoil it. I might have, but I
There's
don't know. I
uh,
know exactly what you're pointing to.
the other blue-haired girl is Azuma's sister.
Oh, look at
Because
that.
you see that exchange of looks makes sense now.
It does, but their eyes don't look anything alike. Just their hair.
It's the hair, it really is, and even the hair was like off shaded a little bit. I think they were
That's
really
true.
trying to save that reveal for the next episode. So I'm sorry anyone who hasn't read it and didn't know that was happening. But yeah, that's I think her older sister.
I'm just surprised they got freaking Maya Uchida to voice fucking Tenka because she was the voice for Rika in Chuboyo, and
Yeah,
she's absolutely adorable. Um, but yeah, no,
very good. And
I've got a soft
I
spot
abs
for these two characters now. These are going to be my go tos, and
so
I'm
as
yeah, you can
I'll
go.
say it as the story develops between the Ozma sisters, you're probably going to grow a bigger soft spot for both of them.
Well, I
Not to
like
try to get your hopes up too much, but you'll I think you'll grow. I think you'll really grow to like those two as their characters develop. But Tenka, oh, Tenka's a fun one coming up in these next couple episodes.
I like Tenka. I'm a
I,
guilty pleasure for that character so far, and I've only seen her for
I
10
like
seconds.
Tenka too, and I don't think I've ever seen her colorized. I thought she was gonna have like pinkish or orangish hair instead of blonde, so that was interesting for me.
Surprise! You got blonde hair.
I did get blonde hair, but yeah, so we get to see those two, and again, they'll play more of a role later on. Come, but I was happy with what we got through this
Y-
episode because
Yeah, I was
that's not quite the end of the episode,
not
is it? Because
quite.
isn't
No,
there another scene with
we get to.
Oba at the end?
I was gonna say we get Oba and two other gals.
Coco and
No,
Naon,
yeah,
Naon. They don't
I,
say her name, but they do say Coco's name.
I'm pretty sure it's Neon.
Neon.
Yep.
Well, we get Coco and Neon, and it really, like, I love the designs of the fucking humanoid Shuki. Like, that really cements it with those two. I
It's
still
like
think
it
Oba's is the best.
almost looked like they just lick each other's wounds and they heal, which was
Yeah, that's kind of what you get. And coincidentally, that scene does not happen in the manga.
that's what I'm talking about. Scenes like that definitely don't ruin anything, but add to the context of the series to make it feel more functional.
Well, so those characters actually aren't introduced for a couple chapters in the manga. At the end of the manga, it's just her and Unicorn kind of sitting there and saying like, "Oh, well, maybe me and Yuki could live in Mato together and all this other stuff." So,
In Siberia.
Matoya.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just the context of obviously, I think, getting a nice introductory view of the other two and realizing that she got her wounds healed. And it seemed like Neon was kind of like the fact that she let the other three girls beat her into a cut and run away. Didn't seem too happy about that. But
Yeah.
I'm
I will
assuming
say though,
she's boss man is what I'm understanding out of this.
so I will say though too that I think they could have been introduced later. I thought it would have been more suspenseful if they would have popped up when they were supposed to pop up.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you really only ever see Aoba as like the humanoid Shuki. Or Oba, whatever it is. Oba as the humanoid Shuki.
Yeah.
And then you get this context later on that there's a few of them out there. Um,
Eating
I think
that
that they ruined a little bit of the suspense.
eating that purple peach, baby.
Yeah, I knew they were peaches. We were
Oh,
questioning this on the last episode, people. I knew they were peaches. I
purple
knew the presidents of
peaches.
the United States had something going for them.
Yeah, eating purple peaches. And yeah,
The
that's
peaches come in a can. They were
they
put there by a Mato Man.
I think that's pretty much pretty much the episode. Yeah, overall it was very solid. I think it's definitely going in the better direction than we were the direction we were hoping it would go in last week. So I think we've got something to look forward to in the coming weeks here.
Now, I'm not saying they listened to our criticisms, but I think they solved most of them.
I think they watched our video and
Like,
the animation staff said, "Yeah, all right."
all right, yeah, we got you, we got you, fam.
They
But yeah,
watched.
I'd rate this like the highest out of these episodes so far.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'd give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I think it's sitting at, so I would say like a 5 or a 6 for the first two.
yeah.
First one definitely more towards 5. Second one towards a 6. I think we're going up though. I think we're at probably like a solid 7 with the improvements that have been made.
Oh, that's what I was gonna go with. A solid 7. It did its job
Yeah,
and its
so it's definitely a
purpose.
fucking good watch.
Yeah, and the story's moving along progressively, and the animation's starting to get better. And we're getting introduced not to one, not two, but three new characters. Right, right. Go or
Hmm.
technically four if you want to count Unihorn. I'm like,
5 new characters, dude.
yeah, but we didn't really get any
The 6
dialogue.
new
It's
characters then.
yeah, sure. Well,
Well, we
keep
got to see that we got to see that Tanaka's kind of a slut.
yeah. Well, that's yeah. That's fine. I like that.
That's introduction enough.
That's a great introduction for me. I'll take that to heart and hope that this next week's episode we get some good time with her. Get to know
Yeah, I
her.
haven't. I'm gonna read ahead a little bit again. We'll reread ahead and see where we're kind of at with the whole context of the episode. But for now, that was Chain Soldier.
Yeah. So that's
More to
pretty
come.
more to come next week. And you know, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It means a lot to us. And if you're feeling real generous, hit that subscribe button. Getting close to that 500
And
mark here, so that's pretty neat.
and and tell your friends,
Tell your
cause
tell your
I was
friends.
honest. I was.
Tell,
This is my first. This is my second time being on one of his weekly reviews, and I was honestly, surprised at how fast you guys started looking at us,
and
listening to us.
tell your friends' moms. Tell your haircut lady. Tell
Don't tell your younger siblings because this might not be for them. I do say a lot of naughty words and talk about nut stepping.
you could even tell your significant other if you felt so inclined to.
You know what would be great if you guys went out, you got a bottle of wine, got some fucking some strawberries and some chocolate and maybe like a nice charcuterie board, or as I like to call them, shakuchi boards.
Hey, Valentine's Day's
And you
coming
had a
up.
little date night. And you had a little date night listening to us.
Yeah, just
That'd be wonderful.
you could turn the audio off on the episode and just use us as a commentation. Just go through it, relax, make some love to our sweet voices. Do what you must. And thanks for
And as
watching.
always,
This has
and
been
as always, comments are appreciated.
yeah, yes, we do enjoy that. And last week's comment, we took that very much down to the breakthrough. You watched the whole thing, and did a fantastic job. And you've been watching my videos for a while. If I next week I'll remember your channel and give a proper shout out. But it means a lot, especially
And I have
explaining things that we didn't remember last week off the bat.
and I have to say thank you too, because you really made me get my shit together for this next one.
And with that being said, we'll see you guys in next week's video. And if you keep watching the channel, we'll have another Squid Tales the day after this goes up. So, yeah. Bye.
Not like we're gonna go record it right now or anything.